Mitsubishi 4G63T. The Sirius engines, codenamed the 4G6, are the Mitsubishi four-cylinder engine family. This family is made of 10 engines, but the one we're interested in is the 4G63T, and particularly the latest version of the engine, the one under the hood of the Lancer Evo 9. This is a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4. This engine had the better turbo, extended spark plugs, and more importantly, the MIVEC system. This system is Mitsubishi's equivalent to Honda's VTEC or Toyota's VVTi. The power output is about 290 base horsepower. Honda B16B. The B-Series engines from Honda are 4-cylinder engines with dual overhead camshaft, or DOHC, produced between 1989 and 2001. These are performance-oriented engines that feature the first version of the famous VTEC system. The B16B particularly is a 1.6-liter naturally aspirated engine with 180 horses. It was only used for the Civic Type R EK9, but the engine shares its block with the one in the Integra Type R. Mazda 13B REW. In the early 1960s, a German engineer called Felix Wankel developed a new type of engine. The Wankel, or rotary engines, are also internal combustions, but work in a totally different way. It works under the same principles as a piston engine, and it completes the same 4-stage Otto cycle. But instead of every piston doing its own cycle one step at a time, it all happens in the same combustion chamber. Although they make a sweet sound, rotary engines are not very reliable, get terrible mileage, have sealing troubles, and have high emissions. This engine under the hood of the Mazda RX-7 is a twin-turbocharged 1.3-liter and produces 280 horses. Nissan RB26DETT. The RB26DETT is the heart of the legendary Nissan Skyline GTR, and it's also the basis for the RB28DETT. The engine code is really super easy to read still. RB is for the engine family, 26 is for the 2.6-liter displacement, D means dual overhead cam, E stands for electronic injection, and TT is for the twin turbos. It was used in the R32 GTR, the R33 GTR, and the R34 GTR with some difference between the engines. The first RB26DETT was rated at 280 horsepower, and at the end of production, it was producing around 320. The RB26 is not only famous for its high technology and power output, but also because it can handle a lot of power on stock internals. The Toyota 2JZ GTE. The 2JZ GTE is arguably one of the best engines ever made and the main reason why the MK4 Toyota Supra is such a famous and sought-after car. It's an inline 6-cylinder engine, 3-liter twin turbocharged that makes between 280 and 320 horses. The JDM version was the less powerful because of the gentleman's agreement between Japanese manufacturers prohibiting the production of cars with over 280 horses. The US DM version has stainless steel turbocharger, revised camshafts, and bigger injectors that pumps up the power to 320 horsepower. Another reason why this engine is so good is because of its iron cast block, which can stand a ridiculous amount of power with stock internals. Nissan SR20DET. The SR20DET is the successor of the CA18DET, and it was fitted in a variety of Nissan cars at the time. It's a 4-cylinder, 2-liter turbocharged engine with dual overhead cams that produce around 200 horses. The engine code is pretty simple to understand. SR stands for the engine family. 20 is for its 2 liters, D for DOHC, E means that it has electronic injection, and T is for turbo. It was used in several cars, such as the 180SX, the Nissan Sunny, the Pulsar GTI R, and the Silvia. Mitsubishi 6G72 DOHC. The 6G72 is a series of V6 engines produced by Mitsubishi in 3 different variables: a 12-valve single overhead cam, a 24-valve single overhead cam, and a 24-valve dual overhead cam, in which we are interested. The 24-valve DOHC has 2 variants, a naturally aspirated one with 225 horses, and a twin turbocharged version with 320 horses. The engine is a 3-liter turbocharged V6 that produces 320 horsepower. This engine was used on the Mitsubishi Debonair and the famous 3000 GT VR4, known as a GTO in some countries, and rebadged as a Dodge Stealth in the US. The Subaru EJ20. Just like Honda and Nissan, Subaru also has its own 4-cylinder family. This was produced from 1989 all the way to March of 2020. The Subaru WRX STI EJ20 Final Edition is the last car to use this engine. The engine we're interested in is the EJ20T, which is not an official code from Subaru, but is how most enthusiasts and mechanics call the turbocharged version of the engine. This turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder boxer engine is under the hood of the 2nd generation WRXs with a power output of around 250 horsepower.